Hey, we are live. All right, here we go. Welcome to the first annual Beantown Podcast Pledge Drive Telethon. We're going to get started with the song. It's going to be lit. Here we go. All right. There comes a time when we heed a certain call, when the world must come together as one. There are people dying as they lend a hand, the greatest gift of all. We can't go on pretending day by day that someone somewhere soon make a change. We're all part of God. The truth, you know, is love all we need. We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones make a brighter day. So let's start giving. There's a choice we're making, saving our own lives. It's you and me. Again, we are the world. We are the children. We are the ones who make a brighter day. So let's start giving. There's a choice we're making. We're saving our own lives. It's true, make a better day, just you and me. It's true, make a better day, just you and me. All right, welcome to the Beantown Podcast, first annual live pledge drive telethon fundraiser spectacular. This is Quinn David Furness. We are coming to you live from 817 St. Paul Street here in beautiful Beantown. Might be a little cold outside, but it's about to get real hot in here. The phone lines are open. That's right, they're open, everybody. Call in donations 815-298-7200. or email Beantown Podcast. That's Beantown, Beantown podcast at yahoo.com. We're here to raise money. We're shooting for $150 to launch the podcast on iTunes. Been listening to your concerns, been listening to your problems, and hearing your grievances, been getting your hate mail. Yeah, we're going to start posting to YouTube. We're going to start posting to iTunes so you can listen on your commute. You can do what you need to do. But yeah, we are very excited to be streaming. Phone lines are open. Venmo is Quinn, Quinn -Furness, Furness. Bring in those donations. We've already raised $45. Very excited from some fantastic donors, friends, families, Nemesiah, the Nemesiah. That would be it's like an antichrist type of thing. But yeah, we're pumped. We're happy to be here. What are we going to talk about today? Well, we've got some stuff going on. First and foremost, so I've been getting back into drinking, now that February's in full swing, January's done. That was our dry month. And I've really been trying to balance going hard with the drinking, having a good time, with getting in shape for swimsuit seasons. It's tough when you got when you look like this. People always seem to be judging you just by your looks and not your personality. So that's been a big challenge for me. Just trying to, you go on dates with girls and all they want to do is just, look at you. And I'm like, hey, talk to me. I'm a person. I have a personality. Like, I want to talk to you, not just, experience the looks you have to offer. So, yeah, that's been tough. So trying to find that balance between looking good and having a good time can be tricky, and I know it's something a lot of you attractive people out there are having to deal with. But I'm hoping we can use this podcast today to bring some attention, to shed a light on that problem that attractive people have. So that's been going on. Very exciting news this week. Got a text from my Jack Links. That's right. We got the cup here. Corporate sponsorship. Exciting. They're probably going to be donating soon here. We'll get them on the phone line. Again, that's 815-298-7200. Call in with your donations. But yeah, Uncle texted me this week, says, hey, listen to your podcast. He said a few other things, probably derogatory. I don't remember, but the long and short of it is, yeah, we are up from 1 subscriber back to 2. That's where we were before my dear mother had to drop out because we were talking about online dating. So I love you, Mom. We'd love to have you back. Even gave you a shout out in the promo visual for the pledge drive. You saw a big mom sticker. So love to have you back. It'd be great to get from 2 subscribers back up to 3. But yeah, so Jack Links, first big corporate sponsor. Love having Jack Links beef jerky anytime, before dinner, for dinner, after dinner. If you just really need to block up your colon, it's a great thing for that. Or if you're making words with your food and you want to use Jack Links as a colon, 2 little dots works great too. My favorite Jack Links product is the Lil Chub. We used to have that here and there in Wisconsin when we would visit. And yeah, it's just like this tiny little sausage, kind of this long, something I know all about, this length. And maybe, I don't know, yay thick, and it's just a little thing of sausage. It's called a Lil Chub. It's delicious. Check it out. You probably find it for like $1 at a gas station anywhere you go. So cheers to Jack Links. Oh, man. Donations are pouring in. Keep them coming, guys. Appreciate all the love. You guys are what makes this podcast run, you and the internet and myself. So collaborative spirit. Happy to have you. What's going on? We got a big weekend in sport. My Super Bowl is tomorrow. Jimmy Johnson starting from the back of the field because he crashed his car in one of the duels, so that's not good. But I think 35th is something is where he's starting. So Jimmy can handle it. He's done it before. Jimmy's won the Daytona 500, and he's a 7-time NASCAR champion. So looking for a big season out of the old fart. Got a lot of young guys coming in, but I think Jimmy's going to be good this year. So look out. Number 48, Lowe's. Lowe's, if you're out there, we would love to get a corporate sponsorship with you guys. And Jack Links, Taste of the Rockies, I think is the Jack Links logo there, but or tagline or whatever you guys call it these days. Love to have you, Lowe's. Love to get you on board. Also tomorrow, Wichita, big game. Let's see, we got a Wichita shirt here somewhere. Let me grab it. Playing the Cincinnati Bearcats, ranked number 5 in the nation. Wichita, of course, don't have to tell you guys, ranked number 19 right now. But yeah, there it is. Go Wichita. Gonna be a big game tomorrow. We're playing in Cincinnati, so look out for that game. 4 p.m. I think. Yeah, it's gonna be big. Had a big comeback win over Temple on Thursday night. We were watching it at trivia at the bar. Always got the Wichita game on. It's actually kind of scary how often Wichita plays at 7 o'clock during trivia. And the TV that they're on is always the one that's in the room where we do trivia. It's like the only one in the bar that has that game. But I think they've started to recognize me as a regular because I wear my Wichita shirt. Once it gets warmer, I'll be wearing my Wichita shorts. I have my truck driver Wichita hat. I've got a Wichita scarf, and I've got yellow and white shoes for Wichita. So that is exciting as well. But big game tomorrow. Looking to have some fun there. Olympics are in full swing. We're 1 week in, 1 week to go. I've started getting to the point where work in the background. That's sort of how we've been doing things. Been watching a lot of curling. Skeleton started the other day. That was really exciting. Hockey has been one big disappointing pile of poop. Woke up this morning, 7 a.m., really excited. USA versus OAR, not the band. I got that mixed up this morning. They're playing OAR, Olympic athletes from Russia. So basically Russia, but not Russia. We got our butts kicked 4-0. That was not good. We got a bunch of college guys. We got a bunch of AHL guys. And yeah, they just look like crap. So we are now 1-1-1 in the Olympics so far. That's not too good. 1 win, 1 loss, 1 overtime loss for whatever that is, 4 points out of 9 possible. So not too good. If this is the World Cup, you'd be out of there right away. 1-1-1 doesn't get you very far usually. Should have done this at the beginning of the podcast. Listener discretion is advised during this live broadcast for 2 reasons. 1, we're going to use some adult language here and there throughout. 2, it's just an objectively terrible podcast. So look out for that. But yeah, there's your tag. Let's keep moving. The Olympics have been fun, but we all know Summer Olympics are way better than Winter Olympics. I think there's some speed skating on later today, but I already saw who won, so I don't know if I'll watch it. Oscars season is coming up. The season is happening. The season is upon us. Our Oscars live predictaculars in 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Next week, we are doing our taxes live on the air. We got all the forms. We have W-2s. We have a 1098 Q and a 1099T, or a 1098T and a 1099Q. I get them mixed up. IRA, and we even have some tips, top 10 tips from a professional tax accountant. That's going to be fantastic. Look out for that show next week. It's going to be great. And then in 2 weeks is our Oscars Predictacular. I will be going through every single category and predicting my winner. And got to tell you, I'm feeling pretty hot in terms of winning or predicting correctly in a lot of categories this year. I went to the theater on Thursday night, and I saw the collection of Oscars-nominated animated shorts, so that was really fun. If you get the chance, so I had never done this before, going in and seeing because they show the 5 or the 6 or whatever in a row as part of one ticket. And they do it for the both Oscars-nominated animated shorts and the live-action shorts. So when it's on the animated shorts, I'll go see the live-action shorts probably this next week. Really fun, and a lot of pieces, a lot of films that otherwise would just never see unless you actually go to the theater and check it out. So when it saw the live or the animated shorts, those are really fun. There's a Pixar one in there, LOO, acronym for Lost and Found. I think no, that's not in it. Lost and Found would be laugh. So I don't remember exactly how that worked. But I was laughing throughout because it was very well done. It was about bullying. It was great. The other ones that were in there were really cool too. So if you have the opportunity, check it out. But Lou is going to be the front runner for that. There's your little taste of the predictions. Lou is going to clean up in that category. So that's exciting. Other movie that I wanted to talk about, or we've been going through our Best Picture nominees here. We're not going to obviously get through all of them before the Predictacular happens in 2 weeks, but we'll talk about the rest of them at that point. But Dunkirk is what I wanted to talk about today. So this was a movie that came out this past summer, late summer, like August maybe. It's Christopher Nolan, guy who did the Batman trilogy, Interstellar, Inception. So he has a pretty good pedigree there. And it's scored by Hans Zimmer. The two of them work together on pretty much every Christopher Nolan film except for a couple of his earlier ones. But it's about the evacuation of Dunkirk, which was in, 1939, 1940, somewhere early stages of World War II. It's great. It's Cillian Murphy. It's Mark Rylance. It's Kenneth Branagh. Harry Styles, and of course Tom Hardy plays a pilot. Unforgettable. He has like 3 lines in the whole movie, but he's great. And it's just 3 separate storylines. They have different kind of the time is different in terms of like one takes place over an hour, whereas another one takes place over 4 days, but they all kind of intersect. So in that sense, it's a little bit like Inception in that the time moves differently depending on the storyline that you're in, which is really cool. But it's not difficult to figure out. It takes you probably 3 or 4 cuts before you finally start to realize what's going on, because it will cut between night and day and then back to night, whereas it's all just one thing happening. So you pick up on that, but the acting is great. You're not going for a Meryl Streep type performance. You're just, it's about war. It's truly a war movie, much in the same way that a Black Hawk Down is a war movie, or a Hurt Locker is a war movie. It's kind of in that thread. And it's just really well done. I mean, you heard me list those actors. Those are all really fantastic. Yeah, everything about it is great. The visuals are fantastic. If you can see it in IMAX, highly recommend doing that, although you probably missed your opportunities at this point. But that's Dunkirk. It's wonderful. I watched it for a second time at my parents' house over the holidays, and I convinced my parents to turn the volume up to an 11, which was great because that'll, no pun intended, is just listening to it. So that's Dunkirk. It's wonderful. Nominated for a couple different awards, including Best Picture and Best Director for Christopher Nolan. So that is wonderful. Something I want to do a little PSA action here. Something that I need to bring some attention to that been talking to friends, coworkers, people I've been meeting up with in Baltimore lately, and seeing or talking to them. I make a musical reference, some sort of band, and just the types of bands that I've made references to, or to their songs, and people I've talked to just have no clue who they are, is shocking to me. So let's go through a list of the ones just from these past 1 or 2 weeks here. So a lot of Queen songs. So Queen, the band, was known, but songs were not known. Things like Somebody to Love, or We Are the Champions, or Crazy Little Thing Called Love. That one killed me. I feel like anyone who's ever been to any sort of like high school dance or high school social function, or really any like bar, how could you not know Crazy Little Thing Called Love? It seems like one of those songs that everyone knows no matter what. Even if you don't know if it's by Queen, you would know the song. So a lot of Queen songs going on there. Something else. I had someone I was talking to was talking about CCR, right? Creedence. They had no idea. They knew, probably heard it through the grapevine. And other than that, nothing going on. And I've been doing this week on YouTube. I've been at work. You can go to YouTube. You just pull up CCR greatest hits. Depending on the video, you get between like 12 and 15 songs. CCR is one of those bands that just has like 10 songs that go at CCR. It's a great song. You just love to sing it. They're super catchy. There aren't that many other musical acts out there like CCR who have that many number of songs that are that popular or that well known. I mean, somebody like Michael Jackson, obviously, or like an Elton John, of course, or like I don't know, the Beatles, Rolling Stones, sure, ton of songs, but CCR is right up there in terms of fantastic songs that are super catchy and them. So not knowing CCR was a little head scratching to me. Poison was another one, and I know that this one might not be as egregious as not knowing a bunch of Queen songs or CCR, but I mean, come on. Unskinny Bop is a classic. Nothing But a Good Time. Talk Dirty to Me. It's frickin' Poison. I mean, come on. Bret Michaels, what is that? The TV show he's on, Rock of Love? Is that what it is? I don't know. Rock of Ages was with Tom Cruise, and I never did go and see that one in theaters, but maybe we'll put it on the list for this week to stream at home. But Poison, classic band. How do you not know Talk Dirty to Me? I mean, come on. I hear people talking about Talk Dirty to Me all the time, and I'm like, oh yeah, I love that song. And then they start singing it. It's by Jason Derulo, yeah. I think that's a song by him. I actually don't know. Everyone's looking for love. Oh, and that's the reason you're in this club. Oh, right? I said, am I right? So that's Poison. Last one here that I want to mention is Kid and Play. I mean, come on. The flat top, the hair's going up here. That's great. So Kid and Play, CCR, Poison, Queen. Just those are just from this past like 1 or 2 weeks. Checking out my Leon Russell rest in peace references. They're going to have no idea, and we'll have a lot more stuff to talk about on the podcast. I was thinking about this. So I was at the orchestra last night watching some Mazursky, watching some Prokofiev. I'm wanting to become a regular at some places, and you got to try and find a balance, because if you want to be a regular at the orchestra, that's great, but it's going to cost you a lot of money that I don't have. So I was thinking, what are the different things associated with being a regular at places, right? If you're a regular at a bar, that's cool and all, but people are going to start to think you're an alcoholic. That's not great. If you are a regular at the gym, people are going to start to think that you work out too much, right? It's always these extremes. If you become a regular at the bakery, that's the one I would really want to go for, especially there's this bakery in towards the mountains by where my parents live out on the West Coast, and they sell this pine cone. That's the name of the pastry. It's bigger than my frickin' hat here. I would love to become a regular at that place, but then everyone's going to think you're fat, and to be honest, if you're becoming a regular at a bakery, you probably are getting a little on the pudgy side. Not that, with my trim figure, I'd have to worry about that, but swimsuit season. But yeah, so I would love to hear your suggestions of where I should become a regular. I think a coffee shop is a safe bet, and there's this new coffee shop that opened up across the street from me. It's owned by this 17-year-old kid, which is cool. I like to support it, local business. But you go in there, and I don't think I've ever seen anyone else in there. So I don't know how this place is staying in business, or if it's going to be able to stay in business for very long. But it feels like the whole point of me being a regular is so that other people know I'm a regular. And if it's just the guy giving me the coffee, out of that. So that's probably the most conceited thing I'll say today on the podcast. But yeah, do I take questions? Absolutely. Yeah. Throw them on in. Don't forget to call in 815-298-7200. We would love to have your pledges. Venmo, Quinn Furness with a dash in between. But yeah, if you got questions, go ahead, throw them on in. Happy to field them. We do have some advice, one advice question coming up pretty soon here on the podcast, which we're not gonna keep long because I've got things to do, mainly take a nap and watch college basketball. But if you were listening to the podcast last week, we tried to solve a GRE math question, and we almost got it. In a way we did, but in a way we didn't actually get the right answer. So we're going to look to be going back. Next week is going to be an all math type of podcast because we're doing our taxes, right? So you got any GRE math questions or multivariable calculus? I definitely don't know how to do that stuff, but I'd love to give it a shot. We have a lovely question here. You're the Vikes GM. Vikings, Minnesota Vikings is football, American football for my my English watchers out there. Fix the QB situation. So if you follow the NFL, the Vikings historically have a quarterback problem. They never seem to have it figured out. I thought it was going to be ugly this year. So we were coming in with Teddy Bridgewater off the torn ACL, wasn't going to be ready to play for the second straight season. Sam Bradford, who was great when he's on, but seems to get injured. Does get injured like every second game that he plays in. And then Case Keenum, been a backup for years, never really done much. I really didn't know anything about him before the season started. 2-3 games before he hurt his shoulder, and then he came back for one game around like week 6 or week 7 and got hurt again. That was a terrible game. I think we won that game. I don't remember who we were playing, but Case Keenum started like 12 or 13 games this year. And of course, the Vikings finished with a 13-3 record, and they go to the NFC Championship game and they get smattered by the Super Bowl champion Eagles. So what are we doing with the QB situation? Here's where it stands right now. The Vikings have 3 quarterbacks. None of them are signed for the 2018 season. So Teddy Bridgewater actually played backup a couple of games this season, towards the end of the season in the playoffs. So he's healthy. He's ready to go. But the thing with Teddy is he's kind of been our guy. We drafted him. Everyone likes him. Very likable guy. He's never really shown us what he can do over a full season and been successful. Hello, if you're just tuning into the podcast, we're talking Vikings quarterbacks. So Teddy's kind of a risky option, right? Because he's the fan guy, but we're not sure if he can come off the torn ACL. We're not sure if he's actually a really good quarterback. So there's that. There's Sam Bradford, who in like the 3 games over the past 2 years, he's actually been healthy for us, has looked really good. And I mean, fantastic. Look at the opening game this past year on Monday Night Football. We beat the Saints. It was like 72-14 or something. It was nasty. Sam Bradford just lit them up. But then he proceeded to get hurt, and that seems to be the narrative every season. And then you have Case Keenum, who of course had a wonderful season, best season of his career, was up there in MVP talks. But what we saw in the playoffs was that when he gets pressured, or when he has to play from behind, you really weren't kicking ass and taking names the way you would like a Super Bowl caliber quarterback to do it. So that's here. I've read a lot about this. Obviously, as a Vikings fan, different opinions on what we should do next year. My actual, honest opinion of what we should do is not a super popular, well, maybe not unpopular, but it's tough. What I would love is to sign Keenum and Bridgewater and just have a quarterback battle in training camp. And I have no idea how that would turn out because I have no idea what we're getting from Teddy Bridgewater. I like Sam Bradford. He's a great guy. I have no issues with him, but just why are we throwing money at this guy who can never stay healthy? And I don't think it makes sense to sign Sam Bradford as a backup kind of for the same reason, because you want your backup to be someone who, even if they're not Aaron Rodgers, they're dependable and they're not going to get hurt, because once you're down to your third string quarterback, you're never going anywhere. So I would like to sign Keenum and Bridgewater to 2 small contracts, let him duke it out in training camp next fall and go from there and see what happens. It would be strange if Case Keenum was our starter and Teddy Bridgewater was the backup, and that was just kind of what our team was moving forward because of Teddy Bridgewater's situation and his storyline. But I don't know, if you miss 2 years, like that's just a lot of time. The game has changed a lot. So that's what I would do. Best wishes to Sam Bradford. I have no idea what Rick Spielman, Vikes GM, is going to do, but hopefully, if you're watching this, Rick, first of all, I would love to have you donate to the podcast. It's Venmo, Quinn-Furness. Also, you can call in. Phone lines are open, 815-298-7200. So, Rick, if you're listening to this, love to have you donate to the podcast. But if you're just looking for some moves, I mean, I don't want to call myself a football expert, but I've been playing fantasy football for 12 years now, and I almost won this year. Not in the league that I've been playing for 12 years. That one I lost. I got second prize. So, hey, Oh, I also want to mention, hey, Friday collection. This is not something I've talked about on the podcast before, but I have a collection of shirts. This part of my Friday collection, I wear them on Fridays in the office, and I look pretty good doing it, and I'm pretty happy about that. So got a new batch of shirts in from JCPenney this week. Looking really good. The other ones are in the closet, or else I would bring them out. But hey, look at this. I look like a dental hygienist, and I love it. So you know about my hair business, Cuts by Q. That's Cuts, Q-U-T-Z by Q. I'd be looking to get into the dental game too. So if you have any, if your teeths are aching, let me know. I have some pliers, and I also have a guitar. So, pull your teeth out and sound good while I'm doing it. So that's how I would handle the Vikings quarterback situation. Let's jump into our advice question for this week, and then I will let you go. I don't want to keep you too long for all you streaming, maybe on your commute to work. Again, this is the first annual Beantown Podcast Pledge Drive Telethon. If you're looking to donate, the phone lines are open, 815-298-7200. If you call and you get a call waiting message, just keep trying. We will get to your phone calls. We'd love to have it. Donate to Venmo, Quinn-Furness. That's Quinn, Quin-Furness, Furness. If you just have questions, comments, or concerns, or you want to air your grievances, you can email us at beantownpodcast@yahoo.com. That's Beantown, BEANTOWN podcast@yahoo.com. We'd love to get in touch with you. We're also on Twitter. We are on Facebook. You know where to find us. There are a million ways to get in touch with us. Questions, relationship advice, you can always send your questions to us. Love to read them on air. We always keep you anonymous. So here we go. Need advice. Both 47. This is from a female dating a male. They're both 47 years old. Cougar Town, hashtag. Been together 1.5 years, okay? Things seem to be missing. Yikes. He's not very affectionate, doesn't seem to appreciate me. Valentine's Day he canceled because he had a stressful day. I was upset and I cried. Been there. I put a lot of thought into his gift and card and got a new outfit. Yikes. Oh, keep it G for the podcast. I love him and want to have a life with him. Yeah, I would think so. You're already 47. You're halfway done. I am very generous with my affection and time and money. So you're like a sugar mama, basically. I make dinner, bring his daughter out. Yikes. Like you bring his daughter out, or like you bring his daughter out? That's what I want to know, etc. I feel like I don't get much back in return except for a lack of emotion. Yikes, salty. I told him I love him, and he's never even said it back to me. That's always tough. The I love you thing, we're going to say that for a later podcast because I could talk for 20 minutes just about that phrase and how I have a hate-hate relationship with it. A love-hate relationship with I love you, if you will. Thank you very much. He has never spent the night, and we have never gone away for a weekend. This doesn't feel normal. My first question is, what have you been doing for 1.5 years if you never spent the night and you never gone away for a weekend? Like, what does this relationship look like? I feel like I got to have more details before I can give you an honest and informed answer, but hey, we're going to do it anyways. And I should mention, because I'm rambling a bit now here, I don't read these questions before we air them on the podcast. And I quickly copy it and I kind of look away. It's one of these actions. I kind of look away and I paste it into a different document, and that's it. We open it back up when we actually stream the broadcast live, as we're doing now. So again, it's one more time we kind of look away. So thank you for that submission. My advice would be maybe just do a you and your daughter sort of thing. Cut the men out of your life. Galentine's Day was this past week, as was Valentine's Day. I was thinking about doing a live stream podcast on the night of Valentine's Day, which was a Thursday, I think, or Wednesday. Wednesday is when it was. But I was watching a college basketball game, and I didn't get to it. College basketball has been nuts lately. Purdue's been losing. Ohio State lost. Rhode Island had won, like 15 in a row. They lost this past, or just last night. Of course, Cincinnati lost. Villanova has lost twice recently. Nova's playing Xavier today at like 4 p.m., I think it is. That's going to be a huge Big East clash. Of course, my DePaul Blue Demons still looking for that tournament berth. They're probably going to get it. They're probably the favorite in the Big East tournament right now, so that's going to be a mental when that comes around at Madison Square Garden. But hopefully that answered your question. If you have more relationship advice questions or just life questions, or if you have GRE math, of course, we're doing our taxes next week live on the air, which has been a lot of people have been talking about that on Twitter lately. So we're really excited for that. If you have tax questions, send those in because we're going to have access to a live tax professional. We've got his 10 tips. It's going to be awesome. So send those questions to Beantown Podcast at yahoo.com. That's Beantown, Beantown podcast at yahoo.com. That's what we wanted to talk about this week. Pledge drive, telethon, fundraiser, spectacular. All the money we've been raising today, and it keeps coming in. I love you guys. Thank you so much. It's going right towards putting this podcast on iTunes. That costs money for me monthly to get it up there. In addition, this is just a few different people working on the project right now, so it's a lot of time and manpower going into this, managing the Twitter page, managing the Facebook page. You saw we put out a really cool graphic yesterday advertising this event. You have no idea how many hours that took our graphic design team. So we're really excited to have this going. All the music, if we ever get sued and we have to pay royalties to like Elton John or Michael Jackson, who wrote the song we played today, that costs money as well. So keep those funds coming in. We're only going to do this once a year, but we'd love to have it. Phone lines are going to be closing soon. If you have any last second remarks you want to get in there, 815-298-7200. We would love to have those. Let's finish off. We got one more question here. Do you do cryptocurrency predictions? No. Let's finish off with a song here. We're going to go back to our roots, going a cappella. That's what we did 3 weeks ago on the podcast, or 2 weeks ago. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you have a great week. And here's some Michael Jackson to play us out. We are the world. We are the children. We are the place to make a better time. So let's start giving. There's a joy all around that permeates the air. So let's do a better time for the world. We are the world. We are the children. We are the place to do. So let's start giving. And the world, so let's do a better time, just you and me. So let's do a better time, just you and me. All right, thanks everyone.